Like, I used to run 4 minutes.
Some stuff, let me warm up first.
Welcome back with a new boxing ring update. Before we start, comment below and tell me which city you're watching from. Believe this, Mike Tyson just knocked a prime pro fighter out cold at 58. Face screaming in fear, could he really take down Floyd Mayweather in an exhibition if he hits that hard? Get to subscribe and rate it from 0 to 10. Let's jump right into today's real boxing ring fight. Mike Tyson just showed the world once again why his name still carries fear in the boxing world. New details coming out of his Las Vegas training camp are leaving fans and fighters stunned. According to reports, one of his sparring partners had to be taken to the hospital after being knocked out cold during a session with the 58-year-old icon. And here's the wild part. This reportedly happened while Mike is getting ready for a possible blockbuster exhibition clash with Floyd Mayweather.
Today, Mike is much better than he was when he fought at Right. So 4 years later, with 58, today he's better than 54. So he saw everything right, everything wrong he did, and he fixed it. This is the beauty of the fight. The energy is good, his energy is good. So.
If you could have fought any fighter in your life, any weight, any era, who would you have picked that you would have liked to fight the most?
Floyd Mayweather.
I love it. Why?
Huh?
You want to knock him out?
Well, I would love to fight him. I wish he was my weight.
All right, interesting answer.
Sources close to the camp say the situation unfolded during what was meant to be a light, technical sparring session. Mike's team had reportedly brought in a younger boxer, a guy in his early 30s with solid professional experience, to help iron Mike sharpen certain combinations and defensive moves. Those in the gym say everything began pretty routine, with both men wearing headgear and keeping the pace controlled through the opening rounds.
You! Again, back across. Your heels at this right there, across. Balance. Balance, beautiful.
But then, according to witnesses, something changed in Mike. People who were there say the turning point came when the sparring partner landed a sharp jab right on his nose. It wasn't a cheap shot, just a clean punch during regular training. Still, that moment seemed to spark something inside Iron Mike that no one saw coming. One person inside the gym said his whole attitude shifted in seconds, like a switch flipped in his mind, and he was suddenly back in his prime.
Nice one, Mike. Nice one, Mike. Nice one, Mike.
What came after that is where the story takes a crazy turn. Several accounts say Mike suddenly started throwing punches with real power and serious intent. People in the gym talk about a combination that landed so hard it made everyone stop in their tracks. The sparring partner allegedly tried to tie him up and ride it out, but Mike didn't allow it. Witnesses say Iron Mike took a small step back, made just enough room, then ripped a left hook to the body and followed it with a brutal uppercut that actually lifted the fighter off the ground. To the canvas, and it wasn't soft. Those around the camp claim he was already unconscious before he even hit the mat, and the sound of that uppercut snapping into place rang through the whole building. One insider called it the most savage moment they've seen inside a training gym in years. For a few seconds, the entire place went dead quiet. Then everyone rushed over to check on him.
Better to the body.
You're right, coach.
Mike, tá bom? Maybe need 10 seconds. Put 10 seconds there. Good shit.
There were medical professionals at the gym, which is normal for a high-level camp. But insiders say they quickly decided to call an ambulance when the sparring partner wasn't reacting the way he should. Reports say he stayed unconscious for several minutes, and even after he came around, he looked confused and couldn't recall what had happened. The team chose to send him to the hospital immediately for a full checkup and to make sure there was no serious injury. This is where the situation becomes even more intense. People linked to Mike's camp say Iron Mike was deeply affected once he realized how much damage he had done. According to sources, he remained at the gym long after the ambulance pulled away, sitting in silence and going over the moment again and again in his head. Someone close to the camp shared that Mike understands how powerful he is, but even he seemed stunned by the level of force he can still produce at 58 years old. Concern quickly grew around the sparring partner's health. Early updates said doctors were checking him for a possible concussion and planned to keep him overnight for monitoring. Later reports claimed he was released to go home, but medical staff strongly recommended that he stay away from any contact training for several weeks. Someone familiar with the evaluation shared that even the doctors were surprised a 58-year-old could still deliver that level of knockout force. The situation has reportedly sent waves through the boxing world for a few key reasons. First, it shows that Mike Tyson's famous power hasn't faded with time. Second, it brings up real questions about what might happen if he does step into the ring with Floyd Mayweather for that rumored exhibition bout. And third, it has other potential sparring partners seriously thinking twice about working with Iron Mike, even if the pay is good. Let's look at how professional fighters are responding, because the reactions have been very interesting. Terence Crawford, who is said to be helping Mike get ready for a possible Floyd matchup, shared some notable thoughts in a recent interview. Crawford explained that Mike's power is something you truly have to feel to understand. He said watching Mike smash the heavy bag is impressive, but experiencing the strength behind his punches, even during controlled technical drills, is on another level entirely.
I don't know what's going to happen with a 135 pounder going up against a 200 pounder. Dude is big. He's not as slow as people think he is, and he can punch.
Sean Porter took to social media to share his thoughts on everything that happened. Porter said the situation backs up what he's been saying for years. The last thing a fighter loses is punching power, and Mike Tyson had explosive power even compared to other heavyweights at his peak. He added that if Mike can do this to a trained professional in his early 30s during a sparring session, then just imagine what might happen if he connects cleanly on Floyd Mayweather, who built his career competing in weight classes where the level of power is on a completely different scale.
How do you analyze what a fight between Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather could look like, right? So then you think about when Floyd got in the ring with Big Show. We already know, like we know now more than we've ever known before that the WWE is fake. It's kind of like acceptable. Yeah. But it wouldn't be acceptable in a boxing ring, you know? It wouldn't be acceptable if there becomes some sort of weird antics and things like that.
Andre Ward offered a more careful take while speaking on ESPN. Ward admitted that Mike clearly still carries serious power, but he questioned how much this moment really says about a possible fight with Floyd. He explained that Floyd's entire defensive style is built around avoiding clean shots. Ward pointed out that knocking out a sparring partner in the gym is very different from landing that same punch on one of the most defensively skilled fighters the sport has ever seen.
He's gonna have the energy to move the way that he did before. You could get a more entertaining fight. You can get more of a back and forth scrap, which is what a lot of people wanted. And it's not a guarantee that this fight goes the distance, given these guys' age and where their punch resistance are. Where their current punch resistance is, and you don't know.
Timothy Bradley really broke it down from a technical angle on his show. Bradley explained that the combination Mike is said to have thrown, a shot to the body followed by an uppercut, is one of the most dangerous sequences in boxing when it's done the right way. He pointed out that Floyd's shoulder roll defense, as smart as it is, can sometimes leave openings for that exact setup if the timing is just right. Bradley added that if Mike has been sharpening that specific combination with help from Terence Crawford, it could actually become a real weapon against Mayweather in an exhibition setting.
As in exhibitions, you know, Mayweather's he's still a killer, man, for real. Yeah, he still got it. So why not share the ring with Terence Crawford, man? You know, you still got it. I know you can still go those rounds. Yeah, you still work hard too. You still in shape, champ. Get that money, man. That's what you about. Money, Mayweather. Make it happen. Bring it to the reality, right?
There were medical professionals at the gym, which is normal for a high-level camp. But insiders say they quickly decided to call an ambulance when the sparring partner wasn't reacting the way he should. Reports say he stayed unconscious for several minutes, and even after he came around, he looked confused and couldn't recall what had happened. The team chose to send him to the hospital immediately for a full checkup and to make sure there was no serious injury. Is where the situation becomes even more intense. People linked to Mike's camp say Iron Mike was deeply affected once he realized how much damage he had done. According to sources, he remained at the gym long after the ambulance pulled away, sitting in silence and going over the moment again and again in his head. Someone close to the camp shared that Mike understands how powerful he is, but even he seemed stunned by the level of force he can still produce at 58 years old.
It was either Mike Tyson's knocking you out, one of the two. It was never a fight that I can remember where it was Tyson, Tyson's having a trouble, he's having a problem, and he brings it back round. At the moment he started to lose, or it started to get tough, it seemed to go the other way.
But then, according to witnesses, something changed in Mike. People who were there say the turning point came when the sparring partner landed a sharp jab right on his nose. It wasn't a cheap shot, just a clean punch during regular training. Still, that moment seemed to spark something inside Iron Mike that no one saw coming. One person inside the gym said his whole attitude shifted in seconds, like a switch flipped in his mind, and he was suddenly back in his prime.
Right roll.
Sources close to the camp say the situation unfolded during what was meant to be a light, technical sparring session. Mike's team had reportedly brought in a younger boxer, a guy in his early 30s with solid professional experience, to help Iron Mike sharpen certain combinations and defensive moves. Those in the gym say everything began pretty routine, with both men wearing headgear and keeping the pace controlled through the opening rounds.
And then you saw the knee brace on, and you just saw the way he was moving. If you watch Mike Tyson, I mean, think about all the Mike Tyson fights we've seen. Think about the movement, the head movement, you know, the foot movement, etc. And then to see that and to know that he's 31 years older than you, literally approaching 60 years of age, I think to see it in front of his face at that moment, it hit him.
The heavyweight scene has been watching closely, too. Deontay Wilder said he wasn't surprised at all by the sparring news. Wilder pointed out that power in the heavyweight division is built differently, and Mike Tyson was one of the hardest punchers ever. Even at 58, with slower reflexes and less speed, that raw power is still in his muscles and bones. Wilder added that he'd actually be more shocked if Mike couldn't still hurt someone. Fury shared his take at a press conference, and it was entertaining. Fury said Mike hitting that hard at 58 proves that some people are just genetically wired with explosive power. He joked he wouldn't spar with Tyson for $1 million because no money is worth taking a knockout from a legend during training. He explained why this is so significant. Most fighters lose knockout power as they age because their speed drops, but Mike's power was never just about speed. It came from perfect technique, leverage, and natural strength. Hay noted that even slower, Mike's technique still produces fight-ending force. He said, "It was either Tyson knocking you out or nothing. Whenever it got tough for him, he flipped the switch." Looking at the potential Floyd Mayweather fight, this incident has changed the discussion entirely. Before, analysts heavily favored Floyd for his skills and defensive genius. Now, Mike's power is a real factor that can't be ignored. Malignaggi, who knows Floyd's style better than most, admitted on a podcast that this makes him a bit less confident. He still thinks Floyd would outbox Mike and win comfortably, but if Tyson lands one of those punches, the fight could change instantly. Mayweather has never been knocked out, but he's never faced Mike's raw power. Have been weighing in on Mike's age and style. While he doesn't have the same relentless head movement he did in his youth, observers note that style is exhausting and unrealistic for a 58-year-old. Host Stephen A. Smith argued that this fight could actually be dangerous even as an exhibition. He stressed that exhibitions are meant to be controlled and safe, but if Mike is knocking out prime fighters in sparring, what happens if he hits Floyd clean? He suggested Floyd might need to reconsider the risk. Ellerman had a different view, saying the news makes the fight more exciting and necessary from an entertainment standpoint. Fans want to see if Floyd's defense can truly handle Mike's power. The betting lines reportedly shifted after the incident, with Mike becoming slightly less of an underdog due to his knockout threat. Jones Jr. shared his perspective, having faced Mike in an exhibition. He said Tyson's power was real even when they were pulling punches, and believes this sparring story is entirely believable. Garcia, Mike's current trainer, addressed the situation carefully. noting that accidents happen in sparring, but Mike's power remains remarkable thanks to his genetics, strength training, and perfect technique. Debate about exhibition rules has heated up. Some call for limits on punch force to keep the fight safe, while others argue it defeats the purpose since fans want to see real action. Both camps are reportedly discussing safety measures, aiming to balance realism with control. Atlas gave a balanced take, noting Mike's power is impressive, but hitting Floyd is far harder than hitting a sparring partner. He explained that Floyd would rely on constant movement and avoiding range, making Mike miss until fatigued. Atlas concluded the real question isn't if Mike can knock Floyd out, but if he can even land a clean shot. For now, for the latest updates on boxing news, events, and highlights, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on notifications. This video on Boxing Ring is created for educational, informational, and commentary purposes only. All boxing highlights, analysis, and discussions are shared for sports awareness, news, and review. We do not promote violence, harmful behavior, or unsafe imitation. All content is used in accordance with YouTube's fair use and community guidelines and fully researched based from updated resources. Viewer discretion is advised.